I'm shivering.
We good?
It is a little bit.
What did you get for your coffee order?
Oh dear God. Okay.
Wait, are we allowed to curse?
No.
Ideally not, but I mean I can edit it if I need to.
Okay.
Also, like, make sure you hold it close to your mouth.
Dang
like this,
it.
that's a little bit clearer. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Around the Hive podcast presented by the Shenandoah Red Team. By myself today, Coach Blue, back home, recovering from his illness. We give you all the best wishes as you recover, Coach Blue. But as you can see, I'm joined by the Shenandoah Field Hockey team today. Multiple players, including Coach Ashley Smeltzer-Kraft, joining us on the podcast today. Welcome into all of you this time, the second field hockey podcast that we've had.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Plenty of players all around. Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Sure.
No pressure or
I'm
anything.
Elise. I'm a fifth year this year.
I'm Camryn. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Taylor. I'm a senior.
I'm Claudia. I'm a junior.
I'm Farren. I'm a fifth year.
And I'm Cassidy. I'm a fifth year too.
I am Coach Ashley. This is my 12th year.
There we go. Big timer for, I think. Who's counting, though,
Yeah,
right?
it's fine.
Exactly. Field hockey coming off of a big-time win. In fact, a string of big-time wins, I would say. Last few games against, top 2 ranked Salisbury, against top 25 ranked Rowan, and now against a tough conference opponent in Washington Lee that went to double overtime, then obviously all the way to a penalty shootout. So to talk about, I guess, from all of your perspectives, because all of you played a lot of minutes, pretty much every minute, I'm sure. I think everybody here played every minute, maybe 1 or 2 subs, but talk about sort of that experience for all of you guys, and if that's your first ever penalty shootout in your careers.
I can go first. It was my first ever penalty shootout. I think we talked about that before. Obviously, you practice it in a scrimmage situation, but that was my first one ever. I think Coach said it was her second ever. So
Yeah, we went into one against Mary Washington. I think like the first year we did shootouts instead of strokes, but that was our first one in a while.
yeah, and I wouldn't do it again.
That seems to be the consensus that I'm
Yeah,
hearing is that they
yeah.
don't want to do it again.
It was scary. The environment was crazy. The fans were crazy. But our fans really stepped up and helped with the positivity. Everyone on the bench was really positive. I think everyone just had each other's backs, which was awesome. So, yeah, it was crazy, but I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree with Elise. It was my first shootout too. Never had any travel high school, so it was kind of crazy to actually participate in, I guess. I don't know, but I agree what she said, like, just having all the support behind and being able to, like, support Swann and stuff was just, I don't know. It's definitely a moment I'm not going to forget. Let me just say that.
How did it feel scoring in your first one as well?
Oh, that was awesome.
I'm sure it was.
I needed
Scoring the game-winning goal.
The game-winning goal, yep.
I needed a little redemption after that first one, but it worked out, so we're good.
There you go.
It was also a first timer for me. I had a couple like in high school and travel, but definitely nothing at the collegiate level. It was definitely a scary moment, but we got through it. I cannot thank my team enough for all the positivity that I had through them. Like, I just felt the energy through them, and that just like kind of made me want to perform the way I did. So I definitely have to thank them for that, and also thank my coaches here in front of me, just because they have been the rocks of this team, so definitely couldn't do it without them. That's for
And
sure.
you mentioned the other day that you said once you got that first save, you were pretty much dialed for the remainder of it. So let's talk about that first save.
Yeah, I was definitely a little nervous to go first, but also in the same breath, like, I wanted to go first because then I could set the tone for myself. I didn't have to compare myself to the other keeper. She had to compare herself to me at that point. So I was like, way to set the tone. I had to do it for myself.
Exactly, of course. Claudia?
This was also my first time. It was definitely like something like Cam said, like I want to like relive the moment that we were in, but I also don't want to be in that situation again. But it was just super fun. Like, we were all like having so much positivity, and like we were just encouraging each other, and like I knew like everyone had each other's backs in that moment, and that like we would get through it because we were all doing it together. And it was just like a super like great moment.
Yeah, I'd never done one of those before. think the overall feeling was just sick to my stomach.
I agree.
But it was actually really like a great moment, just like standing up there with us 5 and then having the team behind us and just like feeling the energy, like the positivity and support. I'll probably never forget it, but I would never want to do it again either.
It was also my
First
shootout.
across the board.
But I think it really showed our true strength and grit that we were able to fight through not only like all the calls throughout the game, but double overtime, and then we had to go into the 1v1s, but the game winner situation. I feel like that was pretty stressful, and Cam being able to step up and take that was a huge tell of our team. And I also just think seeing how happy and positive everyone was for everyone. It was a different type of hype feeling of cheering for each other. Like, I don't think I've ever been so hyped cheering for Swann and like seeing her make a save. But it was just cool to see everyone come together and like take it up a notch to be there for all of our teammates.
Yeah, I was saying before that like it's moments like those where I wish I was there to capture at least some of it and get those photos for obviously you guys, but every other need for it as well. This game being the back half of, like I said, this string of big time wins that you guys have. Let's sort of take it back to that Salisbury game, right? You know, this is obviously for you, Coach. You know, that was a game that you've been looking to, that type of game you've been looking to win for the entirety of your career here, I would say. Obviously, earlier in the season, losing to number 2 ranked Johns Hopkins, obviously Salisbury beating Johns Hopkins, and then you guys coming out and beating Salisbury in that big time game that's going to give you guys plenty of points in terms of postseason looks. Sort of talk about that game for you guys and sort of how that set the tone for the remainder of this season.
Yeah, I think that was the first moment where I was like, okay, this is my team. Like, this is who we're going to be this season. And that's pretty cool for a coach to see it all kind of come together. We harped for, you know, the whole season, but even those 2 days prepping, like, okay, we're going to mark in the press. We're going to shift in the press. We're going to pressure every 50-50 ball. And then to see them do it and, like, be 150% committed was pretty awesome. And then to figure out, like, oh, this is actually working was a pretty cool moment. And then it's like every quarter that went by in that game, it's like, okay, we're in this game. We can get this win that we need. And you're right. I mean, that's a huge win for MPI and the new structure within the NCAA. So even back to last fall when we were scheduling games, I scheduled 3 top 10 teams at the moment. And I thought, okay, if we can get one of these games, then we're going to be in a good spot. And we've gotten 2 of them. So definitely in a good position right now, you know, going into ODAC play and beyond.
Yeah, and now I guess I'd like to hear from the players as well on that game. So to talk about your own environments as you obviously coming into the season, seeing the schedule that she had laid out for you guys, knowing that last year didn't end the way that you guys wanted to. Now you have a significantly tougher strength of schedule, and you've been able to have a lot of success during that. So to talk about it from your guys' perspective on how you saw that schedule coming in and how you performed thus far.
I think I was a little nervous when I initially saw it, but I knew that I trusted Coach, and knowing that she knew we could go into these games and come out with a win, and that we were just as capable of being ranked like them. Just because they were ranked number 2 doesn't mean anything, as we saw. Like, anyone can beat anyone. It's just who shows up that day, and I think that we put everything that we've worked for from the spring to preseason to the beginning of the season. Like, we put everything out there and really showed that we are a top contender and that we deserve to be ranked. We deserve to make it to the playoffs. We deserve to go far, and I think it's really exciting and gave us a lot of confidence to beat Salisbury and also Rowan. Like, I think that we know what we're truly capable of now.
Yeah, and to kind of go off of that, it was definitely a daunting feeling to see our schedule for the first time, but also when we put into perspective that we need this kind of competition to see what our team can do and to see how we need to support each other through things like that. It's been a really cool process to see, just like the way that not only the players on the field step up, but our entire team and how we just provide so much support. And I know that in that Salisbury game, just seeing the environment around us and hearing all the cheers from the sidelines, both sidelines, it just was such a positive place to really do that. So it's been great to kind of see how that's played out.
I would say, both Cass and Farren said, it was definitely like a little nerve-wracking to see the schedule, but I knew it would only make us better, and like I knew what our team was capable of, and like especially with all the work that we've put in, like this was our time to like really like put it all into these play with these hard games, and like it's definitely paid off so much, and like the commitment from everyone, like everyone's been committed to everything, and like we've all been super focused in practice and like film and like getting better every day. Like it really has shown like in these top 10 wins that we've had so far.
I definitely agree with like what everyone's saying so far. Like you can see the energy has changed from last year to this year. Like it is completely different. The vibe of this team is different. Like we are so gritty. We are wanting it. Like you can see it in every practice, every game. Like we are wanting to push every single day to get better. And just like the energy that we're having from the parents, from the sideline, from our other fans, like it's been ecstatic, especially like that Salisbury game. Like I don't think like we personally could have done it without them. Like they made this field energized, and it definitely helped us go through.
Yeah, I agree with what everyone has been saying. Looking at the schedule, hearing about the schedule in the beginning was, I don't know, very like nerve-wracking, I guess. But like everything that we do when we come out here, like there's a purpose to it, and we are constantly like in preparation. We have everything that we need to do to be able to go out and play these teams, and going out like this, I've been so confident this year with all the games that we've played, and I just think that, I don't know, it gives us that energy that we need to play these big games.
I would just say that I'm really proud of us. I feel like Coach mentioned this, leading up to Salisbury, that was when she said that was the moment that like she knew this is my team. Like I would agree with that, because we had a little bit of a rough stretch at the beginning. That was definitely like a wake-up call, and I think we needed that just to like remind us that we are better than certain games, and like we can step up. Coach mentioned this yesterday in film. It's just about like chipping away. So I think that this season especially has been very different, where we just take it like one game at a time, and Salisbury we knew we needed to take it like one quarter at a time, one play at a time. So yeah, we really grinded, and I'm just really proud of us for pulling through. We've had a lot of tests this year, and I think that's all, like Cam said, it's just like a purpose. Everything has a purpose. So leading up to big moments, but I'm just really proud of us for stepping up, and I'm really grateful for everyone that was like supporting us in that moment. That was the alumni day, so that was pretty awesome to have all of our people there. So yeah,
a lot of former athletes that have wanted to win games like that, and you guys were able to show that you could do it. Now obviously, like you said, in your 12th year, but again, who's counting? So now, exactly. So talk about the importance as we head into this ODAC season, and then this is for you, Coach, anybody else who wants to talk about it, the importance of having your same 11 essentially from last season. You had a lot of returners from this year that have a lot of experience now in the ODAC, especially some of your young players that you played last year coming back this year in their same roles, having, like I said, having that same experience in a conference like this one. So to talk about that importance of having your starters back.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a coach's dream to get the same 11 players that started the year before back, because well, it can go both ways. You can feel like settled and comfortable, or you can feel driven and motivated. And I think we are definitely the driven and motivated portion of that. So we're not the same team that we were last year, despite having those same 11 starters. And that's pretty encouraging for me. I can do different things. We can play a different style, which we worked really hard on in the spring. We can do different corners and formations, and I don't know, everything just feels different despite having the same 11 players. And I think I love what Cam said with everything having a purpose, because, you know, we watch film and it's different. You know, it's more detailed. It's higher expectations. It's, okay, you missed one tackle back, that's not good enough. So same 11, but very different feeling there. Definitely.
Any other responses?
I would just agree. I mean, we did work really hard in the spring, and it's also just like we really focus on gratitude and like being present in the moment. So using that now in this season, we're for sure doing that. And I just think that we're all just really happy to be here and we're all having fun. I think you said that in a podcast last year. Like, we are just a team that likes to have fun.
Oh,
so
yeah.
taking that and also being very locked in, very dialed in practice and film and lift and all that. So yeah, it does feel different in a good way. So yeah.
Yeah, and with having your starting 11 back, I think back to last year, you had 4 first-year players in your starting 11 that are now back a second time this season. And then after last year, you brought in 4 first years for this upcoming season. So to talk about developing those 4 now, obviously, as you transition to having a lot of your starters leaving next year, which let's not talk about that yet because we still have plenty of time. But talk about the development of your younger core coming in, obviously, with this year and then coming into next year, with having those same starters. Like, is it or how different is it now that you don't have them getting as much play time as maybe you've been able to give to former first-year players?
Yeah, we typically have some games early on where I can rotate everyone through, and we just haven't had that right now. And I think that's challenging as a first year when you're used to being the star on your team and the one that's, playing every single minute and the go-to. But I think our players have handled it really well. I mean, they kind of seamlessly fit in and they're committed in practice. They're asking me, how can I get better every day? And that's all you can ask for from first years, is that they're kind of buying into the culture that you want. I don't know. I think it's more than even just like our starting 11 last year. Like, we look at our alums that were at that game against Salisbury and even ones that weren't there. And there was this quote from this book that we read this summer, and it said, plant trees that you'll never see. And those players planted trees that they weren't part of it, right? Like, they did things in practice that we're now seeing the fruits of that labor. So I think it's like you just need to be committed to the process of making this program better, and it may not be in that exact moment. And I think that's why we've seen success. That's why we were able to have the confidence to knock off the number 2 team, is that everyone that came before, these people sitting behind me, they put their all into it.
Definitely. So kind of transitioning now, I'm going to go to Cassidy for this question. You've had a generational start to this season. 11 goals, team leading, ODAC leading in terms of goals per game. And I feel like on a stat sheet basis at least, because obviously you've had quite the impact for this team in all of your tenure here. But, like last year, there's a lot of goals scored from like Mairead, and like she's been like the ODAC player of the year or ODAC offensive player of the year. But now this year, you've sort of stepped up into that role where like you're one of the primary goal scorers. So let's talk about that switch between, obviously like your role last year and sort of how you've been able to excel so much this season.
Honestly, I think it's just the support of my team, like everyone working hard off the ball for me. Like, it's not like I can't score by myself. I'm doing it because of my whole team. So I think the fact that everyone that has like stepped up this year in terms of how we play and our intensity, and playing more as like a team this year, I'd say, where we're working hard off the ball and getting into space for our teammates. Like, that's truly how our goals have happened. And some of the times I feel like I was just in the right place at the right time for my teammates. But it definitely has been different. I'm not really used to the spotlight, so it's been kind of weird when everyone's coming to me about it. But it's definitely been exciting, and I'm glad that I could help my team in that way by getting us those goals and finishing those games for us. But it definitely was a team effort, and I don't know, it's just really exciting to see how this year has gone. And I think I just have a different mindset this year. Like, I worked harder over the summer and was excited for the year to be different. Had a better feeling about this year. Like, I had a good feeling last year, but this year I was like, this is our year for sure. Like Coach said, like, this is our team this year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think there were definitely multiple times where, like, the Mats and I would say, finally, after seeing somebody else in the stat sheet that scored a ball that was not named Cassidy Morrison this season. Over to Cam now. I think about, that the back 3 of you guys defensively. You came in together as a class. Sort of talk about that development between the 3 of you on that back line, sort of the trust that Coach has in you guys. That started, obviously, last season when you guys all came in as first years, and now it's going to develop as you guys go through all 4 of your years as Hornets.
Yeah, I think, coming in and like having these girls around me, it was, it's tough because you don't know what you're getting into at first, but just having that support, knowing that they're always going to be there. Like, I know that I can trust, like, if Mal steps, like, I'm dropping back and Elise is coming back, I've got Maddie right behind me. Like, I know everyone's where they need to be, and, like, I feel so supported. I just sorry guys.
Take your time, you're good.
Oh my god, my leg's shaking. I'm not used to talking. But I don't know, it's just so comforting to know that I have them back there, and like I couldn't be more comfortable with who I'm surrounded by and who's like being able to stop these balls back there so that we can get them up the field, I guess.
No, that's completely fair. And I think I'm going to have one more question here, and this will be for all the fifth years here. And it's just a very quick, simple question. What drove you guys to come back for one more year on this team? Anyone who'd like to go?
I can start. I would say knowing that it would be a lot of us in the same places, being on the same team, those 11 players, was helpful to know. But for me, really, it was just having extra time to be in this environment. Yes, winning is great, but the days where I feel like, yes, this was the right decision, are just when we're at practice and we're having fun and there's so much positive energy, and I'm really just with my best friends all the time. And I don't know why I would ever refuse that again. So it's also just having so much gratitude that we have this opportunity just to have these little moments together have really been the difference.
Honestly, I feel like it was kind of a no-brainer type of thing. Like, I have the opportunity to come back and be with my best friends, be with our coaches again, and I feel like I wouldn't want to pass that up. After this year, I have the rest of my life to go work or do anything else,
and
I wanted to soak it in because I wasn't ready to leave here. And like Farren said, I feel like the best part of my day is like when we stretch in our circle and we just talk about our days and share kind of what's going on and just have a good laugh. Like, I feel like I can always count on my teammates and my best friends. It's just part of my day that I don't want to give up yet, and I love being around them. Like, this is my happy place, and I wanted to come back for another year.
Yeah, I just fully agree with that. Like, it's really just about the people. I didn't want to leave these girls just yet, even if they want to get rid of me, but I really just, I love it here, and I love being on this field and being with my teammates and my coaches and like just sitting in coach's office, and I don't know, it's a different type of like serotonin and happiness, like when you're just with your people. So yeah, like Cass said, we have the rest of our lives to figure everything else out. So I definitely would have regretted it if I didn't come back, and just realizing that like we are so lucky to have had this opportunity to come back, and just no regrets, like making it what we want, you know, just having a lot of fun and, you know, playing our favorite sports. So yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, Coach, I'm trying to make this a good recruiting pitch for you.
You're doing a great job. I appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Of course. So obviously, you know, this podcast is sponsored by Red. Coach Blue couldn't be here today to ask this question, so he just sent me kind of just a basic one. The only reason I've got my phone out here. So the core values this year: inclusivity, mindfulness, and intentionality. And so I'd love to hear from all of you on this, but sort of define what those sort of core values mean to you, and how you can apply it into your everyday lives, you know, as daughters, as teammates, as friends of one another, as a wife and a mother as well. So sort of talk about that from all of your perspectives.
I can start. So I'll go with inclusivity. So we talk all the time about like the number one thing that you can be in this program is a good human. So be kind, be welcoming to everyone, be supportive. And I mean, they've said the word supportive how many times in this podcast? So it's like you should just welcome everyone in, and you should give everyone an opportunity to like have a seat at the table and to have a voice. And I think that's something that we've prided ourselves on in this program. So it's simple. It's like second nature to them now.
Yeah.
what was the third one? Intentionality.
Inclusivity, mindfulness, intentionality.
Intentionality. Okay. I think I can speak on that one, maybe. I know we have a lot of mindfulness back here, so
I'm sure.
Intentionality. I think just kind of going off of what Coach says, like just making sure that being intentional with every single practice and like how you're, I want to say raising your players, because you are like basically raising us in these very important years of our lives.
Very much feels like that at times. Thank you.
I just think, just making sure that like you are working hard to be a better human, and being intentional with your time as an athlete, as a teammate, as a leader. I feel like I don't know, this is kind of a hard question, Carrick.
It's supposed to get you talking.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a hard question.
I think you just like, field hockey is a very interesting sport in the diversity aspect. I feel like there needs to be more. We touched on this a little bit in the last podcast, but I think we are the people to do it now. So I think it starts with us, and just like really working hard to create that environment that you want for other people to step into, like the trees aspect and alumni and everything. So it's just, you have to make an actual effort to make change. You can't just like sit back and do nothing. So I think that we're pretty good at like just making sure that we're getting better and we're growing as a team, as a culture, as an example for other people. So yeah, I think that's kind of how I would take it. I don't know, maybe someone else can add to it.
I'll add to it. So we talk a lot about, being the best human that we can be, but also like, how do we make sure that we're grateful for everyone around us?
Right.
Field hockey's awesome. I love coaching. I love being on the field. But at the end of the day, it's not the most important thing. So it's like, how do we make people like Noelle, who gives so much of her time to our program, how do we make sure that she feels included and she feels supported by everyone on our team? How do we make sure that Coach B knows that we're grateful for all that he does? He comes out here almost every day to our practice and watches. We never had that. It's like we want him to feel like he's part of it and he's important. How do we make people like you, who we're so grateful for the attention you've given our program and the love you've given our program and the spotlight? How do we make sure that you know that you're part of this? Like, this isn't just to like I'm coaching my team or my players are playing. This is it takes a village situation. So, we're not beating Salisbury without that. We're not, having the confidence to step onto that turf at WNL and beat them for the first time in 10 years on the road without everyone that's put something into it.
Back row?
I could say something. I think just kind of what I've gotten when we've talked about this is just how grateful I am to have had this experience and to be in this environment and to feel so safe to grow and become the person that I am and be happy with the person that I am. But another thing that I realize is that our world is so fast-paced. It's so easy to get caught up in your own thoughts and what's going on in this moment, that it's really helpful to take a step back and just like acknowledge like the opportunities that we have and the privilege that we have to be here, and just like having that and being thankful is just something that I really appreciate, with all the people that have supported us, everything that goes into it, and just how we've worked as a team to really like take a step back and be grateful for what we have. And I think that goes a little bit into the mindfulness that we practice most of the time.
Anybody else?
A big thing that Coach talks about is pouring into people that pour into you. So kind of going off of what she said about you, Carrick, Coach B, Noelle, like they pour so much, and you guys all pour into us and help us get to where we need to be, that we like need to pour back into you guys and be there for you, and show our appreciation. And I feel like we also pour into our teammates that way too. Everyone's there for us, so like we just need to be there for everyone, and I think that's a good thing to take with you in life, is to pour into other people that make time for you. So I think that's a big takeaway from this program that I will carry with me into life.
Say that again? We're almost done, yeah, so you'll be good. We're almost done here, yeah. Like 2-3 more minutes and we'll be good. Thank you. One of the landscapers just trying to mow the lawn next to us here.
Also grateful for that.
Absolutely.
We can find more field hockey balls over there.
Just don't run any of them over and break the mower. So I guess one last thing that I'll kind of ask you guys. Obviously, there's a lot of senior leadership on this team, both with obviously your captains and then just all the graduates and seniors that are on your team. So how do you guys, both as a coach and as players, pass down a lot of these values that you guys have developed during your 4-year tenure to these incoming classes that you guys see?
I feel like it just starts from the second they join this team. We're really, we have like captains and seniors and all that, but but we really like to emphasize that like everyone is equal on this team, and that someone might have the label as captain, but that doesn't really mean anything. Like we all everyone has a voice on this team, and everyone can say something when they want to. You can go to anyone for anything. So it's like just from the beginning they know that they have a purpose and that they're a good teammate and that we're here to support them, but so is everyone else, type of thing.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's just from the beginning, just like making them feel comfortable.
We just look all the way down the back line.
I think it's also like modeling behavior, right?
Yeah.
So everyone knows, all right, first years don't need to get the goals every day. They don't need to pick up all the balls after practice. Like it should be my captains. It should be my leaders that are doing that. Mm-hmm. And when they set the tone from like practice 1 in preseason, everyone else pretty quickly follows. Like, oh, I should be the one carrying that laundry basket right now. So I think it's just behavior and modeling that. So.
Yeah.
I would also say, like, for the incomings, like, when we have, like, clinics and stuff, like, we get to know, like, our players really well. Like, we, like, talk to them the entire time. Like, we get to, like, feel, like, okay, wait, that's not.
Take your time. Take your time.
Really get to, like, see who they are as a person and, like, get to know them better and, like, really, like, get to know them so that when they actually come here, we like have like already that connection with them and like know that they're fitting into this team and like they will be our teammates for however many years we're with them, like and just like really just like all vibing together, and it just makes it so much easier to flow in when preseason comes, because a little of the nerves are gone. Like, yes, there's a lot of nerves still, but also when we like know each other and have that chemistry already, it's like a lot more comforting.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys all for
edit that
being
one
here.
out.
I'm gonna. I might have to. Yeah. I'm gonna leave you guys with the last word, as we do every podcast. So, is there anything you guys want to say to the people that are watching about your team, about life, whatever it may be?
Life. Very deep, Carrick.
Very deep.
Okay. First of all, Coach Blue, we missed you. We will see you after the ODAC championship when we do this with a trophy.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess
field.
mine is thank you. So thank you to everyone who's texted, who's supported. After our shootout, I had 83 text messages the other day. So
I was one of them.
Yeah, you were. I think you were 2 of them. So down to 81. But yeah, just thank you for the support. I know that most people have no idea what field hockey is. I know that my wife calls things completely the wrong names, but the support has been unbelievable. I mean, we're just so grateful for it, and get ready. We're just getting started.
You bet.
Yeah, going off of that, just thank you for the support, for coming out to our games. We really, really, really appreciate it. And the energy that people bring is like so insane and so huge for us, I think. So thank you for that. I don't know. I'm just really happy to be here. So, also after Salisbury and who did we play just now? WNL. Taylor Swann for president. Thank you.
You bet. Got my vote.
Excuse you.
It's a lot of noise.
I just really want to say thank you to like all our supporters. Like, we just really can't do it without them. Like, hearing them on the sidelines, like cheering us on, like it is absolutely like enlightening. And even people who can't be here, like I still see like on my mom's Facebook. I know it's kind of weird, but like all like the support like I'm having from back home, and I'm sure everyone else gets it. Like all the support just from like wherever we live, like it's just like so enlightening, and like you can still feel it. Like you just have like a big surrounding environment, and it's just so nice to have. And you know, I always just like to say dream big, and we're gonna dream big with that ODAC ring. So
there you go.
You say something?
I'm
almost
really
got out.
grateful to be here right now, and I love my team. Go
We'll
Hornets.
take it. We'll take it.
Sting 'em.
That's for the alum.
I would just say, like everyone else said, just thank you to everyone. It really is like such a cool environment.
We've had to help Claudia with the mic back
Sorry,
here a few times.
She's much better on the field hockey field.
Like the environment with everyone being here, like, and like having our fans on the hill and stuff, it just like makes it so like welcoming, and like it's just a great environment on game days. And like practice, no one's there, but like just like feeling that vibe, like it's just you can't explain it really in words. It's just so cool to have everyone supporting us and just really having our backs and like through our whole season.
Yeah, and I think just acknowledgement of all that happens behind the scenes that gets us where we are today. There's a lot of support, a lot of sacrifice from our loved ones, the people that have gotten us here to this school, gotten us to love this sport, and just so much gratitude for that, and that we're able to be here and be in such a happy place with our best friends.
Definitely what everyone has said so far, but I also wanted to touch on not only our fans at home, but our fans at away games. A lot of times we'll even have more fans at some games than like the team we're playing. Like Rowan, we had so many people there. And we also, I think it's Mo's family that has the motorhome. They like have a little RV with a Shenandoah flag, and everyone tailgates at that, and it's just a really cool thing to see all of our parents travel so far for us and support us, and everyone will say good game to us after. I don't even know some of the people that come up to us and are just there to support us and say how well we did, and I think that just says a lot about our program, that not only do we have an amazing fan base at home, but we do on the road, which really helps.
Any other last words?
I didn't hear the WNL fans the other day, for the record. All I heard was Mauricio's cowbell.
There you go. All right, thank you guys so much for today. That was awesome.
Thank you, Carrie.